Welcome to the Dynasty Dads podcast. Football, rankings, debates, dad stuff with your host, Justin Williams and Matt Renshaw.
And welcome everybody to this edition of the Dynasty Dads podcast. I am your host, Justin 8 Second 40 Williams, and with me, as always, my friend, Matt Renshaw. Matt, how are you today?
I'll give you. You probably run a 40 faster than 8 seconds.
I don't know, man.
I bet you could run a. That's pretty slow.
Slow and steady wins the race. That's how I do it.
Not in the 40.
Sure.
No.
If I was running the 40, the scouts would see me run and they'd go, you know what? It's not as fast as we want, but boy, he looks good doing it.
Oh,
that's exactly what they'd say.
I'm sure they would.
They would.
Okay.
So, Matt, you know what? I'm going to go a little bit off script here.
Oh, this is either really good or really bad when you do this.
We never do this, but I want to already preview.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're
this
doing.
show, next week's show, and the show after that.
So 2 weeks out?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man.
So today's show, we're going to start off the same way. We're going to talk a little bit about kid stories.
Yep.
Right? And we're going to go a little bit news and notes, just a little. We're going to talk about the combine. We're going to talk about the upcoming free agency period.
Yes.
And
the franchise tags. Who used them? Who didn't use them?
Absolutely. But then next week, I'm excited for this one.
Okay.
Next week, we have a guest. This guest is someone you cannot find online.
Not as hard as you look, you will not find this guy anywhere.
We're talking off the grid.
No Facebook.
No Twitter.
No
Instagram. No Snap. Nothing. This dude, and if you looked at him, we know him personally. If you just looked at him, you wouldn't be able to tell this dude is not connected in any way.
No. Does he have a flip phone?
No. I'm pretty sure he has one of those fancy touchscreen phones.
Okay.
But he
doesn't have any social media?
No social media, but he is one of the best fantasy football minds that you and I know.
I would agree with that.
Outside of me, he's one of the best football minds that I know. We're very, very proud to have Cody Madsen on the show next week.
Yes, in studio.
I could have just made up a name and
nobody would have known him.
You couldn't find him. But he's a great guest. And on that same episode next week, we're also going to reveal.
Oh, we've got a big reveal. A big reveal.
Yeah, we have a huge guest. It's just definitely it's a big fish that we caught. And he's going to be on the show that is March 22nd. That's Thursday, March 22nd.
Yep.
But next Thursday, on March 15th, we reveal who that's going to be.
Yep.
And you're going to see it all over Facebook. You're going to see it all over Twitter. It will be a big deal.
It's a big episode coming up.
Yep. Absolutely. So I couldn't hold it any longer. I wanted to let everybody know that top of the show.
You're excited.
The next couple weeks are going to be awesome.
You're excited.
I just got to make it through this terrible episode today. Awesome. And we'll get there. So
this isn't going to be a terrible episode.
Any episode with you is mediocre at
That is
best.
not true. Hey, if you look at the Twitter polls, most people think that I would make a better NFL prospect based on-air personality alone.
Which, I don't get it.
Yeah, well, you don't have to.
I just don't get it.
The scouts know and like what they see and hear. You just said it. You're 8 second 40 Williams.
But I'm tenacious.
Well,
I look good doing it.
That doesn't get you wins.
Bodacious, any other acious that you can think of, I'm it.
Who's your NFL comp?
Probably somebody mediocre like Jerome Bettis. Probably.
Mediocre?
Yeah.
The bus is not mediocre.
No.
I know my NFL comp. And those of you that know me personally would probably agree with it. I know one guy in particular is going, yep.
Who?
Phillip Rivers.
Pretty close.
Yeah.
Pretty close.
Yeah.
I guess mine would be like Lindell White.
That's a good one.
I think I'm Lindell White.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good comp.
Yeah. 8 second 40 probably.
There you go. Yeah.
Okay. So that's enough of that.
Anyway.
We got the teaser out of the way. Matt, what happened this week? How was your week?
This week, good. The girls they're getting older, and Kaylee had her birthday a couple weeks ago. She got her vaccine, her 1-year vaccines, a couple weeks ago, and this week,
Fun.
Yeah, tons of fun. This week her temperature spiked up. She got up to 103 for a couple days. My wife called the nurse, and the nurse said, that's normal, it's fine, whatever. But then 2 days ago, she started getting like this chicken pox looking rash all over her body. Ooh. And me being the overprotective dad that I am said, no, we probably should take her in. So my wife said, no, we're not going to take her in. So we didn't take her in. We called the nurse, and the nurse said, same thing, normal. After vaccines, I guess it happens. So, and then Kyla, I have a Kyla story. So bath time, one of the baths that we did this week, she starts splashing. I'm like, don't splash. So she splashes again, of course, water all over my face. I said, Kyla, look, you have water all over my face. She takes her wet hands and goes, I wipe it off, and wipes her hands all over my face, trying to wipe it off, and my whole face is wet. So I have a caring 2-year-old that doesn't understand how water works and being wet and all of that.
Awesome.
Is water wet?
No, I think I read something about it, like it's actually not wet.
This is my flat earth student from last week also argued that water is not wet.
Welcome, everybody, to the Matt Renshaw Show. Matt, go ahead.
No, I don't have. I'm just telling you. That was another. My flat
I thought you were going to tell another story.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying that's another thing that came up in conversation. Yeah, that water is not wet. If you're not wet until you get out of the ocean or the pool or the tub or whatever.
Oh, yeah. I read something. It was circulating.
If you're in it, you're not wet.
Yeah.
Because you're in it. Water's not wet.
Boy, this is intriguing stuff.
Yeah, tell me your story.
I don't really have much of a story. I'm not gonna.
Did Carson win the championship?
No, he didn't. Oh. And wouldn't you know it, he forgot all about how that was a championship game as soon as that was over. It's like, no,
that wasn't championship. It was just the last game.
Yeah, no, it's okay. I'm gonna play soccer now. It's like, it's even worse,
back to
kid.
That.
It's even worse.
What about Carly? Any big stuff?
Nothing really. I mean, she's still really close to crawling, but it's gonna happen one of these days.
Yeah.
Yeah, her personality just grows more and more every day. She
awesome?
Laughs and hits us and all that stuff. It's great.
Hits you.
Yeah, it cries when we put her down. So it's neat.
That's life.
Yeah, it's really neat. So that about does it for Kid Stories. Just so everybody knows, we have a really special contest going on the dynastydads.com.
Yep.
It is the free agency contest. It smacks you
right in
the face as soon as you log onto that page. You click the link, you throw in your email address, and you get to pick whichever teams you think the free agents are going to go to.
Right.
And at the on March 13th, that's when it locks,
yep,
right?
Yep.
And
opening of free agency, it locks.
Yep. On March 13th, we're actually going to go through that. Well, we're not. We're going to make sure we have all the entries, but then once the free agency period kind of dies down, I think we have a dead date in there somewhere.
Yeah, we do.
That's when we're going to look over, see who had the most correct guesses, and that person's going to win a free T-shirt, which is going to be provided by Let's Get Personal, which is an awesome Facebook site that makes customized hats, shirts, sweatshirts,
cups,
signs, cups, whatever you can possibly think of. Just go to facebook.com and search Let's Get Personal, and it should be the number one option there. So we're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back, talk about some news and notes, the combine, the free agency period.
The week that was.
The week that was. So stay tuned.
Looking for your next favorite podcast? One that will teach you how to make millions with Bitcoin, help you lose those extra stubborn pounds, or make your spine tingle with a murder mystery? Stop searching and let Podable do the work. Podable is the only podcast player that learns what you love and recommends podcasts just for you. Import your favorites automatically and instantly discover new ones. Find your next favorite podcast today by visiting us at podable.co or download our app in the iOS App Store. That's Podable, P-O-D-I-B-L-E, and discover your story.
All right, welcome back. Man, Combine's over, Matt.
Yeah, it's disappointing.
Did you watch any of it?
I did watch. I watched a little bit. I didn't watch a ton, but I watched the 40s. Mm-hmm. I like to see the fat guy 40s. Those are always fun to watch.
Absolutely.
I mean, everyone watched Barkley just blow it up. I mean, 443.
Oh my God. We're going to get into it.
Okay.
We're going to get into it.
Sorry.
So first, let's do a couple of news and notes because, I mean, we haven't done news and notes in a while.
Do you want to talk tags? And who? I mean, Jarvis Landry got tagged.
My favorite kind of tag are the ones that it's just like printed on the shirt. It's not the actual like white tag.
Yeah, you don't have to rip it out.
Yeah, and it doesn't itch.
Haynes does that. They're geniuses.
Oh, my goodness.
Michael Jordan.
Changed basketball, changed underwear.
T-shirts.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. So, franchise tags. Miami Dolphins tag Jarvis Landry. Look like they're going to trade him.
I hope they do. I think Jarvis Landry is going to do so much better with a real quarterback.
Wait a minute. 2 teams that are rumored to be interested in him, trading for him, are the Ravens and the Bears.
Okay, I'm happy.
I don't think Flacco is a better quarterback option.
I think Flacco is a slight upgrade over Tannehill, and I think that Trubisky has a chance to be better than Tannehill. So
I like Trubisky and Nagy, but I don't like Flacco at all.
I mean, I'm not a fan. I just think he might be better. I mean, Mike Wallace was relevant.
Name the last big Ravens receiver that finished top 20.
I think Mike Wallace did, didn't he? Came pretty close.
I think he's top 30 maybe, but
you go ahead and effort that.
I'm going to effort that.
So
what about Allen Robinson?
He's going to be an unrestricted free agent.
Oh, I'm so excited for that.
Yep, that's going to be interesting.
So excited for that.
Technically, he is a free agent right now.
Please, if you're listening, A-Rob, go to San Francisco. Go to San Francisco.
It's going to be interesting to see what he does.
Mike Wallace, wide receiver 38.
Oh, so close.
Not really.
Okay,
he's closer to 40 than 20.
What was his points?
151.
And what was like the 20th best guy?
20 had 198.
So probably about 3 really nice games. Yeah. Okay. I thought he did a little better than that.
Anyway, Allen Robinson, go to San Francisco.
It doesn't matter.
Please.
We're not going to play this game on the air. A-Rob in a different jersey is just a good thing for everybody.
Yep.
It raises his dynasty stock
a lot,
quite a bit. Almost anywhere that he can go, he goes. Martellus Bennett was cut by the Patriots.
What did he do?
I mean, it saves the Patriots $6.2 million. Makes complete sense.
How did you skip over Sammy?
Sammy Watkins is going to be a free agent,
which I will admit I was wrong about.
You were absolutely wrong.
The Rams. I can't believe the Rams traded a second round pick for a guy not to tag him. But
Rams going to do Ram things.
That is true.
It's also reported that the Dolphins might be cutting Ndamukong Suh, which is interesting. And it's also reported that the Seahawks are going to cut Mr. Richard Sherman.
That one's not a surprise.
In the next couple of days.
Is that a surprise to you? That's not a surprise to me.
You know, defensive backs in the NFL are so fickle. You can't. They rarely have a run that Richard Sherman has had of being elite for a long period of time. When they lose that step, they lose that step forever.
Revis Island.
Exactly. Yeah, Revis Island. Joe Hayden is another one.
Yeah, Joe Hayden did good in Pittsburgh.
He did okay.
He did good.
Okay. We're obviously going to agree to disagree. Aqib Talib has been consistently good.
I think he's the next
Champ Bailey
to
has
fall
been
off.
Consistently good. I mean, one of the best young cornerbacks in the league is Jason Verrett of the Chargers. He's very.
I really thought you were going to say Jalen Ramsey there.
Well, yeah, Ramsey's obviously.
I was like, he's better.
Extremely good. He's very young too.
Yeah.
Speaking of defensive players that most of you listeners don't care about, Earl Thomas is apparently
trade him.
He's apparently on the block.
Trade him to Dallas.
Yeah, a lot going on. A lot is going on.
Yes.
And some of you may be wondering why all these reports about franchise tags and trades and this and that. Well, that's because the deadline to actually franchise tag players was on the 6th.
Yep, passed.
Yep, so we're past that point. So these guys are, if they weren't tagged and they weren't re-signed, they're going to be free agents.
Yep.
And free agency technically opens up on the 14th. That's when we're gonna hear like the official dates. It's 4 p.m. At New York time.
Right, but we've got the legal tampering period, which opens March 12th.
Yeah, March 12th is when we're gonna hear a lot of reports because that's when teams are actually open to communicate with these agents as long as they're unrestricted free agents.
That is when we're going to hear that Kirk Cousins is signed with fill in the blank.
We're going to hear a lot from Schefter's going to be going off on Twitter.
Big names are going to sign on the 12th and the 13th.
Mm-hmm.
Then your smaller guys are going to fall. So I wouldn't be surprised if Keenum or Bridgewater. Those guys signed the following week or days after.
It's being reported that the Broncos are actually very interested in Case Keenum.
If they don't get...
Yeah, he's a plan B.
Yeah.
Which I think that'd be great. There's plenty of...
they must not want to draft a quarterback at 5.
It sounds like the quarterback situation for Denver is going to be a free agent pickup, and I'm completely fine with it. I think there's plenty of really good talent available. They're willing to... You got to pay for it.
Who's plan C if they don't get Keenum?
I don't know.
You're the Broncos insider.
I would imagine then you draft a guy. But one of those guys is going to sign for a team that has Elway at the helm. That's a big deal.
Why does that matter? I don't understand why Elway...
He's a quarterback. He understands quarterbacks, and quarterbacks like guys that understand quarterbacks. It's a big deal.
I don't understand why it's a big... I really don't. I don't know why it matters that my GM was a quarterback.
Really?
No, I really don't. Like, if my head coach was a quarterback, okay, I understand that connection.
It's the same thing.
The GM doesn't call the plays. The GM doesn't...
Oh, Elway's involved in personnel.
Well, he shouldn't be. Look at what the Broncos have been done.
They were doing... They won the Super Bowl like 2 years ago. Don't be silly.
They won the Super Bowl because of Peyton Manning, not because of John Elway.
Really? How good did Peyton Manning do in that run? Really?
He won them a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
You gonna tell me Brock Osweiler was the reason they won the Super Bowl?
Actually, that year, Brock Osweiler was one of the biggest reasons as to why they finished the season the way they did.
No,
when the
DeMarcus Ware and that defense was the biggest reason that they won.
I said one of.
Yeah.
He was a hell of a shoo-in, and that's
why they benched him for Peyton neck surgery Manning.
That run, you have to. You had to at that time. You're see, this is revisionist history. You're changing.
Go ahead, continue.
Anyways, okay. I think that's about it for
news and notes.
Friggin' the whole show, I guess. But that's about it for the news and notes section. You want to talk a little combine?
Yeah, let's. What do you? Besides are they going to rename it the Barkley Showcase, or is there anyone else you want to talk about?
I think Saquon did exactly what a lot of people predicted.
Yeah,
he went out there. He dominated almost every drill that he did.
Mitchell Wren said he was going to put up a 99 SPARQ score, 99th percentile. He was wrong, but he was damn near close. 98 percentile is what his SPARQ score was. So
amazing.
Yeah, he's a stud. I mean, he's obviously the 101. Even if he goes to the Browns, he's the 101. Do you see your fastest 40 time?
4.38.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. Have you heard of who was it? Can you say the name?
I'd say it's Nyheim Hines.
Yeah.
From North Carolina State. I'm going to be honest with you. I know nothing about the kid.
Yeah.
But I know in my draft he's going to be pretty high up there.
Look at that. What's he play? Running back? He's a running back?
Yeah. I mean, that's what NFL.com has him as.
Well, then, there you go. Barkley 4.4.
Barkley ran a 4.440, which is not shocking to anybody.
Is that unofficial? I thought the official was 4.43.
This is the NFL.com website.
Okay.
Right. Geis ran a 4.49.
Yeah.
Chubb ran a 4.52.
Chubb outshined Sony Michel, which no one saw. No one thought.
No, I didn't.
Everyone was like, "Oh, Michelle's going to be the." No,
well,
everyone wants to. I'm going to get this off my chest. Everyone wants to make comparisons to last year's class. And Kamara came out, and Kamara had success, and now everyone's going, "Oh, Sony Michel, he's the next Alvin Kamara." Quit comparing. Quit doing that. Why can't Alvin Kamara just be Alvin Kamara? Sony Michel is just. Teams are going to go, "Oh, we want what Alvin Kamara did." Reach for Michel and not get Alvin Kamara.
See, that's something that we as Dynasty owners buy into. NFL GMs don't buy into that.
What do you mean?
They don't buy into the comparison game.
I don't understand it.
You remember how I said it last week?
You did say it last week.
Off the air, you were like, I don't think you bought in as much last week.
No, I don't think anybody, Alvin Kamara is Alvin Kamara. I don't think anybody's going to be Alvin Kamara. Alvin Kamara, what isn't anybody else that came before him? He's his own guy. He's someone different. He's not anything that they've seen in the league for a while. He's not Brian Westbrook or I don't know. That was a bad name to throw out, but he's his own guy. I don't know why we have to compare everybody to somebody else.
And it's okay. Well, no, hold on. It's okay to compare people. To compare players. I get that completely. And there's different traits of these guys that is going to be comparable because they all play the same game.
Right.
They're
in the same position.
In the same position. So you're going to find things that are certain traits that do remind you of players.
Kamara's not Sproles.
But to take a player and say his NFL comparable is this guy is, well, my knee jerk reaction is to say it's lazy, and I know I said it last week. I'm backtracking a little bit, but for people to see that and say that guy is going to be as productive as his comparison,
right,
that is where you're absolutely wrong, and you don't understand dynasty football.
Different teams, different schemes, different coaches,
different type of game.
Yeah.
The game changes every year.
Yep.
So that's why I cringe when people say like, "Oh, he's the next LT." Maybe, but LT was pretty damn good.
Yeah.
And like we know that, and there's so much unquestioned talent here.
Yep.
So I don't know. What do I know?
That was
just a podcast.
Nick Chubb. I like Nick Chubb. I think Nick Chubb is for me 103 easy.
I think at this point, without even looking at my rankings, I think at this point your first 4 picks in these rookie drafts needs to be running back.
Who's your 4th?
Well, I'm thinking it's like you got Barkley,
right?
You have Chubb,
yep,
right?
You have Geis.
You have Geis.
There's your top 3, and then you Ronald Jones. You Sony Michel.
I think you're thinking Sony.
I think you're right. This is where landing spot would play into it for me. I mean, I could think either one of those 2 could be your 4th running back, and the other one would fall 5.
Yeah, I'm just, I don't know. I feel I watched this wide receiver group, and I'm not seeing anything that
nobody jumped out as can't miss.
Yeah.
Right.
And you listen to these guys that definitely know more than I do.
Yeah.
And it's just like,
definitely.
Yeah, I don't really. Yeah, it's like I don't see anything. I see potential.
I see solid contributors in the NFL, but I don't see any all-stars. Be
careful.
You think? Who's your all-star?
You know, I think everybody that's really worried about Cortland Sutton it's starting to get the killer. I mean, okay. I think a lot of people are downplaying how talented Cortland Sutton is, and I know that his metrics doesn't really show that, but he's a good football player.
Yeah.
Everywhere he's gone, he's produced.
Okay.
I mean, he's done great in high school and college. He's a good player.
So
will he end up being a Hall of Famer? Maybe not. But could I see him being worthy of a top 6 pick in your rookie draft? So 2018. Yeah, I can definitely see that developing.
Laquan Treadwell was successful in college and in high school too,
and that's going to happen.
I know.
And so Treadwell was a popular 102.
Yeah,
I know that happened, and by all means, it looks like that's wrong. And at the very best case scenario, his value got killed, murdered. Nowhere near it.
You can buy him super cheap now.
Right.
Another wide receiver, Calvin Ridley, did not impress anybody at the combine. Do you have I don't know if you have his stats up. Great 40.
If you give me a minute, I will find it.
Yeah, great. He did a great 40. I don't know. He stopped on one of his 40s in the middle. Just stopped.
4.43 was his 40.
I don't know how many. What are you on? 3, 2, 3? He slipped and he stopped and wanted a different run. But I don't know. There's like DJ Moore, I think did better than Ridley. I don't know if there's a lot there.
Ridley?
He was one that I was watching like, all right, this is a guy that's gonna perform, and he didn't. He kind of let me down. I don't think he's wide receiver 1.
I think there's an argument to be made for like 3 or 4 different guys to be wide receiver 1,
right?
And I think that's really, really weird.
We talked about this off air. If you've got 104 to 107, you should just, if you can't make the jump to 101, just sit pat and be fine and just take best available.
Unless you're very in love with the player, but yeah,
right.
That's our strategy. Like we don't see the reason to, because I think I'm happy at 103, 104, 105. I think I'm just as happy as I would be, without making a move.
You're happy at 105 and 103.
I think I'm just as happy. Yeah. But I think, you're absolutely right. If you're not going to make that jump to 101, there's no reason to move up to 103.
No.
You just take who's there.
Yeah. Just let him fall to you. And, I mean, unless Chubb goes to somewhere where he is the clear-cut lead back, no competition, he's the man. Like, Barkley's 101. Absolutely, no matter where he goes, no matter what landing spot. But let's say Chubb ends up with Tampa Bay. unquestioned number one lead back. Yeah, he's pretty solid 3 for me, and could have the potential to jump to 2 if depending on where Geis falls. So you could have 3, and you can move up to 3 if you love where Chubb is or whatever the situation is. But right now, don't move. There's no reason to move. Unless you're confident that a guy that like Chubb is going to end up somewhere where you love the landing spot.
Yeah. I mean, that's something that we're all going to be, looking for, right? That's how these guys are going to pretty much get shuffled around here.
Right.
From here until the draft, the actual NFL draft, a lot of these guys shouldn't be moving for you.
No.
They should be staying put unless something obviously
tears their
comes
ACL
out.
at a school workout.
Yeah, something crazy has to happen. But where your rankings are right now, you shouldn't touch them.
No.
You shouldn't. And
there's no reason to. There's nothing that should change it.
A lot of Dynasty owners, a lot of people in that community like to fidget and change things a little bit, tweak things. This is not the time when it comes to your rookie rankings. They should be sitting put.
Yep. Wait.
So, yeah, absolutely.
One guy we haven't mentioned. We didn't talk quarterbacks. We talked wide receivers, so I guess this kind of involves Lamar Jackson a little bit. Mm-hmm. We ran a Twitter poll. Should he play wide receiver? I think he should absolutely not play wide receiver. And he came out and said, no, I'm not a wide receiver. I'm not even going to work out as a wide receiver. He looked like the freak athlete that everyone thought he was. Everyone knows Josh Allen can throw the ball 80 yards in the air.
Man, I was watching Josh Allen do some of those throwing drills, and holy God.
Do you hate, we talked last week, you hated him watching the first game that Wyoming played. Mm-hmm. Are you coming around on him? Is he...
I could see why people would fall in love with him. And in my defense, the rest of the season, he looked much better. I thought. He clearly improved.
He's a big dude.
Yeah.
He's Joe Flacco 2.0.
He's freaking fast, too. He ran the third fastest 40 for quarterbacks. 4.75.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So he's a little elusive.
What was
quarterbacks?
What was Jackson's 40?
It's not on here, so it wasn't top 15.
Oh, check wide receivers.
I'm not even sure if he check wide receivers. I'm not even sure if he ran. To be honest
JT Barrett.
Yeah, JT Barrett had a 4.7. Quentin Flowers ran the fastest quarterback 40 at 4.63. Let's see. As far as guys that you would know, Baker Mayfield's getting a lot of buzz. Huh?
I like Baker Mayfield.
He really did well in his interviews, which I know that's a thing that a lot of GMs like.
Yeah,
they like to see that. So,
Lamar Jackson did not run the 40.
Yeah, I had a feeling.
Due to the wide receiver talk. He's like, I'm not going to run the 40. Nope. I'm going to show you. I'm not going to do this workout.
I can't blame him. Has nothing to do with his arm.
No, you're right. It doesn't.
And you can watch his tape. You know he has the ability to escape the pocket, and he'd be just fine. That's not going to hurt him.
He's a fast guy. No. I read a news flash or whatever that he's somebody's QB2 in their draft board.
He's some... Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. Like in their draft rankings, he's their second best quarterback in the class. So, I mean, even NFL scouts are divided on this guy. Some people have him at 6. Some people have him at 2. I mean...
we're going to hear a lot of smoke screens.
I like him. I do, but I'm not an NFL GM. Wouldn't he make sense for, like...
Oh, God. Here we go.
You hate this. Never mind. I'm not going to do it.
Here we go.
Nope.
No, finish it.
Cincinnati.
Sure.
Like, Andy Dalton can't...
They screwed up with McCarron. They should have had McCarron in there all year last year.
He's going to be a Brown.
Speaking of Browns, Todd McShay went ahead and released his updated mock draft. You want to run through that real quick?
Well, is it behind a paywall?
It probably is. Hold on, let's see. Let me scroll down. I'm already at pick 4, 5, 6. Oh, looks like we're good.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, usually ESPN
Thank
likes
you,
to do the
Todd
whole,
McShay, for
insider,
not putting up a paywall.
Yeah, the insider thing that nobody pays for.
No.
So he has the Cleveland Browns taking Sam Darnold.
Not a shock.
Quarterback, USC, at number 1. No, not a shock at all. And let's talk about that. There's been a lot of talk on the Twitterverse about how the Browns should just draft Saquon Barkley.
One guy in particular I had a conversation with on this too.
What say you, Matt? Should the Browns draft a running back at 101 in the NFL of 2018?
I don't hate the idea of them drafting a running back 101.
Wow.
I don't, because it's going to depend on what they do in free agency. If they go out and get McCarron, and Hugh Jackson has already said he doesn't want a rookie quarterback to start week 1, you've got A.J. McCarron to start, you get Barkley, and then maybe you take your quarterback at 4. Or here's what I would do, but I know the Browns are probably much smarter than me.
Maybe.
No, not. Anyway, I would call New York, and I would say, hey, Giants, we'll trade you 4 and another pick and jump up and get my quarterback and my running back.
No.
1 and 2.
No.
Why?
No. Why bother? I think you're on the right track. I think that what you said there about going getting a quarterback in free agency like McCarron, who's a fine guy, I don't think you need to draft a quarterback.
They still have Kaiser.
I think Kaiser showed a little bit of promise. Not a lot, but something. And why not? What's I don't understand why you wouldn't try to go get a guy, the best quarterback that you can get, and talk into living in Cleveland. Pay him all the money that you have. You have plenty.
They do have a ton.
Then you draft Saquon Barkley.
Yeah.
And then you let the Giants take whoever they want.
Offensive tackle. Offensive guard.
It should be a freaking quarterback, but what do I know?
Doesn't sound like they're going to.
You let the Colts actually do something with that atrocious defense. And then when you're at 4, that's your backup.
You take your quarterback?
Maybe you do. Maybe you do take the best quarterback available.
Here's the thing.
Maybe you take somebody on defense that can actually help you.
If you're going to take a quarterback, you take him at 1. Like, you can't be like, oh, we like 2 guys there, okay, because you're the Cleveland freaking Browns, and whoever you like or whoever you end up with will suck. Because that's Cleveland. That's how it's happened. They had the second pick. They could have had Wentz. They traded out. They could have had Deshaun Watson last year. They traded out. Like, I'm not going to chance it if I'm the Browns. What I wouldn't hate that they do, they take Barkley 1, and then they go out and they get Bradley Chubb. Because they drafted, who was the number 1 defensive end they picked last year? They picked a defensive end with the first pick. You get 2 young stud rushers on your edges and let them go get the quarterback.
We've seen teams build with
defensive
player. Yeah.
I mean, you could get Fitzpatrick, and he could be a safety or a cornerback, and that's neither here nor there, whatever they decide. But you get your young offensive, whoever, quarterback, running back, whatever they want, and then you add Chubb on defense, and you go from there. And they have 2 picks in the second round, at the top of the second round.
Yeah. No, see, that's what I'm saying. It's like I don't think there's really. I mean, picks are picks, but maybe you need to get that guy who is a once-a-decade kind of player, and that's what Barkley looks like.
Okay, so there was one guy on Twitter that I saw that said, screw it, you get Barkley, you sell jerseys, you get some hype in Cleveland.
Oh, see,
I think that was stupid. I don't agree with that.
You're going to get hype no matter if it's 101.
You need wins. Cleveland needs wins. They need. If you think Barkley's going to give you the wins, great, take Barkley. But you need something, and they're going to add talent. Like they don't have to worry about adding talent. They have 2 high picks. They have 4 high picks if you're counting the second round. So
all right, we got too much time invested in the Browns.
Yeah. Anyway,
so 102, he has the New York Giants taking Barkley, which to me, I mean, I guess you could say they need a running back. I think they have a bunch of young running backs there. They don't really know what they have. I think quarterbacks are a bigger issue, but if Barkley falls to you at 102, you do what dumb teams didn't, like the Browns, and you take Barkley.
Or do you trade out?
Nah.
Not in this mock?
No
trades in this mock?
Everyone has to be bought into how talented Barkley is. I think if he falls in your lap at 102, you just draft him and say, screw it.
Okay.
We got the best player in the draft. At 103, the Indianapolis Colts take Bradley Chubb, DN, North Carolina State.
Stud defensive end.
At 4 in this mock, the Browns draft Minka Fitzpatrick.
Micah.
Is it Micah?
I thought I just call him Fitzpatrick because it's easier to say.
He's a safety out of Alabama. I'm sure he's all right.
He's good. He's going to be. They're talking about him being the next Jalen Ramsey type safety cornerback wherever. Broncos taking a guard here, huh?
Broncos take Quentin Nelson.
What do you think, Broncos fan?
He's supposedly the best offensive lineman, interior lineman in the draft. So, I mean, I'm not an expert there. I'd imagine that he's good.
I assume if they don't get a quarterback, they're taking a quarterback at 5.
Yeah. I'm assuming they're going to get a quarterback in free agency. This sounds like that's what's going to happen. And I'm all for when teams draft high picks for interior linemen or tackles. I think that's great.
Yep.
No problems. The Jets are going to take Josh Allen from Wyoming, quarterback, which is great. They need somebody.
They do need a quarterback.
At 7, the Bucks take Derwin James, a safety out of Florida State.
Yep.
Chicago Bears take Denzel Ward, cornerback out of Ohio State.
Which is shocking to me. Do they say he's going to get a wide receiver in free agency? Like they need an offensive weapon or two.
He says in his little write-up that Calvin Ridley is his top-ranked wide receiver, but he had a mixed combine workout.
Yeah, we talked about that.
Sure about him.
Yeah.
So he figures they're going to take the best cornerback available.
Okay.
49ers take Tremaine Edmonds. It was a defensive end and outside linebacker out of Virginia Tech. The Oakland Raiders take Roquan Smith.
He is like the perfect Oakland Raider.
Linebacker out of Georgia.
Yep.
At 11, Baker Mayfield to the Dolphins.
Not a surprise. There's a lot of smoke that they're going to take a quarterback. They may trade up to take a quarterback.
That would be huge.
Yeah.
At 12, the Bengals take Vita Vea. He's a D-tackle out of Washington.
Vita Vea, the biggest D-tackle in the draft. Huge guy.
6'4", 347 pounds.
Big boy. Yes.
Number 13, the Washington Redskins draft Mike Hughes, cornerback out of Central Florida. At 14, the Packers take Marcus Davenport, D-end.
This would be great for the Cardinals.
Then the Cardinals at 15 would draft Josh Rosen.
Great.
Out of
there's
UCLA.
talk he could have been the number 1 pick. So in this mock draft that he falls to 15, wow. They're going to get a quarterback, right?
I would think that somebody jumps in front of the Cardinals there.
Yeah, assuming that the Cardinals are going to take a quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Next up, Calvin Ridley goes to the Baltimore Ravens. That would be very intriguing.
Like I said earlier, they need wide receivers. They're talking about trading for Jarvis.
Ridley going to the Ravens, I think, would lock him in as the wide receiver 1 in rookie drafts. Because he's
got an opportunity. You're right. It's all. I get it.
He's shown immaculate talent. He's in a situation where he's automatically wide receiver 1. You don't have to worry about it. And there's a quarterback there that at least has the ability to throw it deep and get him the ball.
Yeah.
So I get it.
Okay.
At 17, the Chargers take Rashard Evans. He is a linebacker out of Bama, another Bama guy. 18,
Alabama.
At 18, Seattle Seahawks draft Josh Jackson.
I like Josh Jackson a lot.
Defensive back out of Iowa, and this is with all the Richard Sherman news.
Yep.
So we'll see how
totally
that plays
makes
out.
sense there.
The Dallas Cowboys take another Bama player, Daron Payne.
Did you see him in the championship game?
Why don't you go back to your home in Alabama?
I like it. I don't hate the pick. There's talk we could take a wide receiver. The Cowboys could take a wide receiver too.
At 20, the Detroit Lions draft Connor Williams. He is a tackle or guard out of Texas. 21, the Buffalo Bills take on Taven Bryan, D-tackle out of Florida. And then Bills actually had back-to-back picks.
Boom, boom.
At 22, they draft Jair Alexander, quarterback out of Louis.
Would it surprise you if they took those 2 picks and tried to trade up to get a quarterback?
No.
No, me either.
Not one bit.
Josh Allen seems like a perfect Buffalo Bill guy.
At 23, the Rams take Will Hernandez. He is a guard out of UTEP. The Panthers at 24 take Isaiah Oliver.
Crowell.
I was about to say Crowell, who is also a defensive back just out of Colorado. Titans at 25 take Dallas Goedert.
Yeah,
he had a really good combine.
This pick surprises me,
South Dakota State,
because they took Jonnu Smith last year in the 3rd round. So why would they double dip and take another tight end? But
have you seen Jonnu Smith play?
Yeah, he's not bad.
He's okay, but I don't know. I don't see it either, but it kind of makes sense, I guess. I just think there's other holes in the Titans where it's tight end isn't your biggest need.
No, you have 2 good options there. You have Delaney Walker and Smith.
26, Atlanta Falcons take Justin Reed, safety out of Stanford. And at 27, things get interesting.
Yes.
Lamar Jackson goes to the Saints.
Yep.
No.
You don't think?
No. If I could pick one team that he doesn't land on, it's the Saints.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Put some pressure on the Breeze.
He doesn't. It's just one of those things where I can't envision him in a Saints uniform.
Where can you envision him?
Anywhere else. Like, if there's one team I just don't see it happening, it's the Saints. He doesn't fit. Maybe it's just me.
Maybe it is just you.
It might just be me.
That makes sense to me. Breeze is getting older. Maybe they sign him on a 1-year deal.
No. I get them finding a quarterback here.
Right.
Or going after one.
Okay.
I don't see it being Lamar Jackson.
Who in this mock, all the good ones have been taken. Who's left?
Then you go elsewhere. At 28, the Pittsburgh Steelers draft Hayden Hurst, tight end out of South Carolina. Jacksonville Jaguars fill in the wide receiver hole that they're going to have, and they draft DJ Moore, which would be huge.
DJ Moore. Why? Well, they lost Robinson and Lee, but they've got DD.
I like DD.
I know you do.
But
and Keenan Cole.
Bring in DJ Moore, and you're fine.
I don't hate it. He still has a terrible quarterback throwing to him.
At 30, the Vikings draft Billy Price, a center or guard out of Ohio State. At 31, the Pats take Lorenzo Carter, outside linebacker of Georgia. And at 32, your Super Bowl champions, the Philly Eagles take DJ Clark, wide receiver, LSU.
I've seen some mocks where they take Geis.
Clark ran a 4.3 440 and a 40-inch vertical.
So he can jump.
He is a athletic freak.
He can jump.
Well, that about does it for mock drafts, combines. We're going to take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll close the show. What do you think?
Sounds good to me.
All right. We'll be right back. And Matt, that about does it for the show.
Yeah. Gonna wrap it up a little early this week.
Yeah, it's a shorter episode because hey, it's just combine. There's not a ton of news. It's mostly smoke screens and mock drafts and all that other fun stuff.
Yeah,
but
it's fun to read.
But between now and next week's episode,
lots of stuff's gonna happen.
We're gonna have a barrage of news.
Is that your word of the day?
Barrage. Yep, that was on my new word of the day calendar.
I parked my car in the barrage.
We got to talk. So. Yeah, there's going to be a bunch of news coming out, especially on the 12th and probably the eve of the 12th.
Yeah.
About different teams that are pretty much tampering.
Who's going to sign who? And
yeah, where they're going.
Yep.
Where they're visiting.
Kirk Cousins will be signed before next week's episode.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And then we're going to have a lot to talk about next week with our guest, Cody Madsen. Don't bother Googling him. He's not there.
Not going to find him.
But
can't do it.
My goodness. I am so excited for Cody's interview. Are you?
Yeah, I think it'll be fun. He knows his stuff.
Absolutely.
He's not awkward. I mean,
no,
you would think.
That's another thing. You're right. It's like I'm sure when listeners are listening to this and they hear, okay, so they're gonna have some dork on next week that doesn't have a Facebook, doesn't talk to anybody, and I'm guessing he's gonna like talk like this the entire time. No, that's not true. Cody has very strong opinions.
Yes, he does,
and he is not afraid to share them.
No,
he's a very funny dude.
This is a guy that we played in leagues with when we started. I mean, he's been.
The man has no enemies.
He's been with us for a while.
Coolest dude you'll ever meet. And
you won't find him online.
It's a shame, but we are so proud to be able to bring him in and to talk to him. And he's going to grow a following. He's going to be like this cult figure after next week.
Yep.
So we're really excited about him. So next week's episode is going to be huge because not only do we have Cody, not only are we going to have a lot to talk about with the free agency period opening up, we are going to announce
reveal
our special guest
for the 22nd.
For the 22nd.
I know who it is, and
well obviously we know who it is. I know,
but I'm excited for that. I'm excited for Cody, but I'm super excited for this guest that we've got.
Yeah. Yep, we are definitely reeling that one in.
Yeah,
and it's going to be fun.
Yes. If you would have told me when we started this that we would have a guest of this nature, of this status, I would be like, no way, absolutely no way.
Oh yeah, he's definitely above us.
Yeah. yes, he is.
All right, so that does it for the show. We want to thank everybody for listening. Like I said, next week's episode is going to be absolutely huge. Be sure to check out Dynasty Dads. Thank you, Donald. Be sure to check out dynastydads.com and get your entries in for the contest.
Yes.
It is so huge to get your entry to get your entry in. Win a free T-shirt. Who doesn't want a free T-shirt, even if you get a really huge size?
Yeah.
You're supposed to do it again. Thank you. And by the way, that shirt is done.
I missed it. Oh, goodness. I'm sorry.
That shirt is going to be brought to us by Let's Get Personal. Again, that's Let's Get Personal, and they're on Facebook. Go ahead and search for them. Facebook.com/Let's Get Personal, and you will find them. They make awesome stuff. So be sure to leave us a review on iTunes, 5 stars, plus a comment. That'd be great.
You know,
we're getting more 5-star reviews, but we're not getting anybody to say anything.
No,
which is just
here's
terrible.
why. I'll actually tell you. I had someone come up to me and say, "Hey, I would love to review your podcast. iTunes won't let me post a comment. They've tried. So if you're having those issues, let us know, and we'll figure it out because we want to give you the shout out that you're trying to earn by giving us the 5-star review, and we will read those at the top of the show.
You know what you can do if you're not able to leave a review, rate us 5 stars. take a screenshot of it. It's easy on your phone.
Yep.
And then go ahead and tweet that picture to us with something that you want us to say, and we'll say it.
And we'll read it, Because we don't want to, because iTunes is having an issue, we don't want to punish you guys that listen and do the reviews. So we will definitely get that figured out and squared away.
Absolutely. Well, until next week, take care. Have a great weekend.
Yep.
Enjoy the amazing weather. I guess I know it's a pretty terrible places.
That's where we're at.
The
nor'easter. If you're up northeast, survive the foot of snow that you're going to get.
Please don't die.
Yeah.
Don't you die on me.
Yes.
All right. Take care, everybody.
God bless.
Thanks for hanging out with us on another episode of the Dynasty Dads podcast. Be sure to subscribe on iTunes and follow us on Twitter @Dynasty Dads. Visit us at our website, dynastydads.com, for articles, news, and notes, Dynasty Dads gear, and more.